The ongoing saga slash the war of X-Men 97 being at the center of all of this, featuring Marvel Studios versus Beau DeMayo, doesn't seem to be going away, and as a matter of fact, some brand new updates shared by both sides are pointing towards these two going to war. So let's talk about everything we have here at our disposal and see what exactly is going on as of right now. Okay, so this came at us from The Hollywood Reporter, who dropped this very late night on August 15th. It takes on a life of its own, so what I'm going to do here is actually go through this article and talk about the key points here. So the headline, obviously, Marvel fires back over X-Men 97 creator's claim he was stripped of Season 2 credit. Cites egregious investigation findings. So then they go into the bulk of the article talking about how 5 months after X-Men 97's creator, Beau DeMayo, was fired for mysterious reasons, the writer claimed Thursday he no longer gets credit for the second season of the hit Disney Plus series show. And then they talk a little bit more about some of the claims he made on social media and some of the troubling patterns that emerged in terms of the conduct that was done there. Again, if you want to read it yourself, just slow it down right here and read through it, but I'm just kind of going through in a, point by point, breaking it down quicker than reading all of it and having to re-explain it. Marvel, of course, shot back with a statement to Hollywood Reporter talking about how they did an internal investigation with him being fired, and, well, that's exactly what led to him being let go. Beau talks about how during Gay Pride Month in June, on June 13th, he posted a picture of himself, fan art of himself as Cyclops, which I'll toss up right now. And he claims that after he posted this, that's when Marvel Studios sent him a letter notifying him that his Season 2 credits were stripped. Now again, he did some work on Season 2 prior to being fired, and that's what this is all about right now. Now, of course, he also spent years working there on TV series like Moon Knight and actually worked on different versions of the Blade script. He then said that there was a pattern of how Marvel and Disney conducted business with him and that this isn't anything new. And that's when Marvel fired back, talking about how it was, well, these investigations that they did that led to him being fired. But again, it's never explained what exactly they found. Now again, they claim it's egregious findings, but they never talk about it. Now, the rumor mill and the conversation around this has sort of revolved around Beau's OnlyFans, which he has. And a lot of people say it was due to that. But, as people have pointed out, Disney would have known about this. And they didn't seem to do anything about it, considering it was a wide-known thing while he was working there for years. So why did that show up finally when it relates to this series releasing? Which is why then people point at the whole, well, is it because he posted, things on there or art of him and, dressed as X-Men or something like that? So we don't know the full story here. I'm just trying to paint both sides of the picture so you guys understand. Call me crazy, but getting your creator credits ripped off for this doesn't make sense to me. Because if that was true, right? Do you guys remember when Rob Liefeld shared pictures of Marvel Studios and people there beheaded because they were gonna kill Deadpool, the franchise, and Deadpool 3 was gonna be awful, and everything they did is gonna just kill what Rob Liefeld set out to make? A lot of people forget that. And he's still credited. He was even on the set of Deadpool and Wolverine. So this, to me, this whole notion that, hey, they sent it just because of this, it's a little bit of a red flag, because personally it doesn't hold water, because we've seen this type of behavior and much worse. Literally, Rob Liefeld posting just bad stuff and yelling at Marvel's, almost calling them borderline Nazis. And look, nothing happened, right? So again, I'm just trying to explain here why I don't think that specific image was the root of all of this. Now, I do want to dive back in the article for a minute and talk a little bit more about what's in here. So, They, in this article say, and I quote, sources say that following his exit, an agreement was reached between the two parties over the issue of tweeting about the show, something that DeMayo had continued to occasionally do. In light of the breaches, his credits for season 2 were removed. While no details of the cause of termination or the initial reviews have surfaced, sources say it involved sexual misconduct. Now, this is important, and a lot of people are overlooking this. So, if it's true, and it sounds like it is, and Disney provided evidence that the two of them agreed, hey, you are going to get season 2 credit, you're stepping away, but you cannot continue to talk about the show, what happened, and essentially we're signing an agreement where we parted ways, you're going to get your money paid, and you're going to get credit, right? Just don't post about this stuff. He then, when he posted the image of himself as Cyclops and continued to talk about his firing and X-Men, breached whatever that was. Thus Marvel issuing a, hey, what are you doing? You breached contract. Now, of course, if he signed that if I breach contract, I get removed from season 2, and if he did in fact do that, which he technically did with this, as Marvel is claiming, then it makes sense. But still, it's a little fishy on Marvel's side because you can't just take away his credit like that because he still worked on it. So both sides, in my opinion, here with this, from the limited amount of things we know from this one article, paint a very confusing and interesting and different picture. And also, do you guys remember when Victoria Alonso was fired a couple years ago for going and working with the rival studios? She still gets credit on everything she was involved with, despite a similar breach of contract. So again, a little weird here. But now I want to focus on the key here. And again, I'm going to reread this. They said, and I quote, while no details of the cause of termination of the Eternal Review have surfaced, sources say it involved sexual misconduct. So this is the sticking point for me. Something here is very, very weird. And since they won't say what it is, we could only speculate. But speculating about this misconduct isn't going to lead to anything good, which I don't want to do. You know, there's going to be tons of videos and people talking about this and rage clicking and trying to grift. Look, whatever he did that they found that was misconduct of sexual nature, I don't want to get into till more hits. If it's somehow related to his OnlyFans or whatever, okay. If he somehow did something there and they found it, okay. But again, they knew about his OnlyFans, which makes me think that some of the reports that maybe something was happening there with the workers, which early on we heard that maybe he was tough to work with and there would have been some sort of something like that they found out, that's where it's going to get tricky. So if there's a pretty big update on this, I will talk about it. It's probably going to be another long-form video like this when the news hits. But right now, it's such a weird situation. And again, I think it's going to escalate even more. And when it does, I'll talk about it and I'll make a video, I'll make a follow-up. But don't jump to defend or side with either side, because they're both playing a little wishy-washy in my opinion. Both sides are saying things but not providing evidence of the contrary. There's something weird afloat here. And once the full picture comes out, and I think it will, then we'll really know what happened. And then we'll talk about this more seriously.